Hey everyone, welcome to the coast of Southwest Florida. I'm Misha from Cypress Pillar Healing Arts, and today I am going to introduce you to my friend Cocoplum. The Cocoplum is part of a family called Chrysobalanaceae, and its genus is Chrysobalanus, and the species is Ayacoco. Now that is a name that we also sometimes see this plant being called out commonly as well, the Ayacoco, and sometimes it's also called the paradise plum because it grows here in paradise. You don't always find it in vacant lots like this guy. Usually we find this plant growing in its native wild habitat around beaches, sandy areas, and the sea. It really thrives in those high salt areas where other plants might find it difficult to live. Now this plant is native to here in Florida. You'll find it growing throughout the Caribbean, in the Bahamas, as well as South America, Central America, and even into Africa. But it thrives so well in these areas that it's actually become an exotic invasive in some of the places where it's not native to. So if you're here in Florida and you want a lovely plant and you live along the coast, this is a really great choice for that.
Certainly one of the easiest ways to get to know cocoplum is to identify it by its fruit. You'll be looking for a tree or a fairly large shrub that has these beautiful little fruits on it. But what about when the fruit is not in season? Let's check out some ways to identify it by its leaves and other characteristics. The leaves of cocoplum are alternate, which means that they are not right across from each other, but instead alternate along the stem or the branch. They also have this characteristic way of pointing up, almost like in a V shape. So if you happen to come across one of these and you notice that the leaves are pointing up, it's a pretty good bet that it is cocoplum. The leaves are almost round in shape, and they're simple, meaning that it's just one to each petiole on the stem. They have an edge or a margin that's entire, so there's no serrations, but they tend to be rounded down a little bit. And if you look at the tip of the leaf, it can be indented, like I'm showing you in this video, or they can actually have a little bit of a point, and often you'll find both types of leaves on the same plant. The fruit typically grows either singly or several to a cluster, and you can also find both the immature fruit, like the green one here, and the ripe fruit growing together as well. Another distinguishing feature of this plant is the lenticles that you can find along the bark, especially on the more mature parts of the plant. These are almost like little bumps or almost have a cork-like appearance. And when you see that on the bark, which tends to be a really beautiful dark brown or sometimes even a reddish brown, that's a good sign that you do have a cocoplum.
So you can probably hear the traffic going by because this gorgeous, pretty big cocoplum is actually in a vacant lot. That's right. Out here on Anna Maria Island in Southwest Florida, super close, beautiful, near the beach, we have these gorgeous, amazing edible plants just growing on the side of the road. And that's where I found this guy, just hanging out in a vacant lot. A great example that if we put the plants, especially natives, in the right place, so right plant, right place, they can be amazing with very little care. So you probably can see behind me, this cocoplum is covered in fruit, and they're these really tiny, oh, one just fell off in my hand. So, okay, cocoplum wants me to show you. So the fruit on this particular cocoplum is white. It also has almost like a pink color. It's super pretty. And they can come white like this. They can also be more of like a reddish pink. And this one does have some that are a little more red. And they can also be blue. So the cocoplum fruit, you can find it in red, white, or blue. Very patriotic. Y'all want to know what it tastes like? All right, let me try it out. I'm just gonna check the fruit and make sure I don't see any insects. And I know this is definitely cocoplum, so I'm confident in eating it. So let's check it out. Oh, it's very soft and very tender, so it's a good one. I love the taste. So it just has a white flesh on the inside, and it's super soft. It reminds me in texture of a lychee, or lychee, depending upon how you want to say it. If you've ever had one of those fruits, it's very, very soft, very moist, and it almost has almost little taste, like very little taste, to sort of an almondy taste. Now the fruit is edible, clearly, right? But the seed on the inside is edible as well, and it can be either eaten raw or you can eat it, you can cook it as well. And the taste of that is very much like an almond.
Cocoplum was at one point considered to be part of the Rosaceae family, and it was often considered to be related to fruits like cherries, apples, plums, and even the roses themselves. Generally, today, botanists now classify it in its own family, but the fruit still has many of the same qualities as the fruit of the family, including being very high in vitamin C. Cocoa plum fruit also have quite a bit of vitamin A, meaning that this fruit is fantastic for improving eye health, and vitamin K as well. And this is one of the reasons why it is known as a healer and a plant that helps rebuild cell membranes and especially great for the skin. In some areas, it is said that consuming the cocoa plum is incredibly beneficial to the heart and that it can help blood flow in the body. If we consider that it is once part of that Rosaceae family, this makes sense as many members of this family are also considered to be great heart medicine. Since the fruit is edible and pretty tasty, we can use it in culinary recipes just like we would an apple or a cherry. You could make it into a jam or a jelly. And it's not just great for humans, but it also provides a great food resource for the wildlife in its native habitat as well. While the fruit has that sweet quality, the leaves, the bark, and the root have a very astringent, energetic action. So, traditionally, this plant was one that we would turn to if we had any type of digestion upset or diarrhea or dysentery because it would help to kind of pull everything together and stop any type of leaking or anything that was coming from the body that was loose. This astringent action helped tonify, so issues with the skin, it could really help bring tone to that, as well as to the vulva and the vaginal wall and any type of prolapse sphincter that needed to be pulled back. The astringent nature of this plant also made it a great choice for any type of excessive urination or bladder issues. Today, if you live in Southwest Florida or in the Caribbean, you probably know this plant as a friendly yard plant, or perhaps you've seen it helping to stabilize dunes. But its medicinal and edible qualities go far beyond a simple, pretty yard plant. And hopefully now you know cocoa plum a little bit better, and the next time you see it, you'll be able to recognize the many values of this beautiful coastal plant. I've been Misha with Cypress Pillar Healing Arts. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more healing arts videos and herbalism and all sorts of good stuff to help you grow a healthier you.